So we want to talk about the properties of acids. So I'm sure in the previous grades, I'm sure you could say an acid, or we could regard acids as substances that ionize to produce hydrogen or H plus ions, and bases are substances that ionize to produce OH minus ions. That's what you used to do, like when you were in actually previous grades. But again, there are different definitions that you could actually see concerning acids and bases, right? But you have to know that many of substances that we encounter in everyday life can be classified as what? As acids. So we want to talk of properties of acids, right? So the first property of an acid, you have to know that an acid or acids, we can say acids are sour. Acids are sour to taste, right? We can think of acetic acid, right? And then we can think of a component of vinegar, right? We can think of citric. We are just trying to talk of different types of acids, right? Citric acid, which occurs, and then which occurs maybe in lemons, right? Which occurs in lemons, right? And then the other thing about acids, they cause specific odors, right? They actually cause specific odor changes in indicators. So that is the other property again of what? Of acids. So you can write that one as the other point. Acids cause specific color changes in indicators. Acids cause specific odor changes in indicators. Right? So that's the other property of a what? Of an acid, right? And we can talk of plant dyes, right? There are also examples of acids, right? They can also change the color of that litmus test. If you know the color of litmus from blue to red. So we are saying they change the color of litmus. They change the color of litmus from blue to red. That is the other property of an acid, right? And then sometimes aqueous acid solutions, we are saying aqueous acid solutions, they are very good electricity conductors. They conduct electricity, right? And they can also neutralize bases. Acids, they neutralize bases. Acids neutralizes bases, right? And again, we can say they have a substance that has at least one hydrogen atom that can ionize to form a hydrogen ion, that is H plus, in an aqueous solution, right? So that's the other property of acids. So we are saying acids are sour to taste. We can think of acetic acid, right? And then we can think of a component of vinegar. Citric acid, which occurs in lemons, right? So even like when you are attempting questions on acids and bases, right, you have to have an imagination of the different types of acids, right? So acetic acid, vinegar, citric acid, those types of acids that we encounter, some of them in fruits like lemons, right? And you have to know that acids can cause specific odor changes in indicators, right? And then think of plant dyes. They can change the color of the litmus from blue to red. And we are saying aqueous, we are saying the acid the aqueous acid solution, you see. That is why you see even in the batteries that we use in every day, there is acid, because it conducts electricity. It's a very good electricity conductor. It can allow electricity to pass through. So that's the other point that you can write. And then again, you have to know it can neutralize a base. Acid neutralizes bases, right? And then we are saying it's a substance that is at least one hydrogen atom that can ionize to form a hydrogen ion, or an H plus ion, right? And then from there we can now talk of properties. Let's think of properties of bases now. Properties of bases. We have talked about properties of acids. We want to talk of properties of bases, right? We can think of bases like alkalis, right? Alkalis, right? They are bitter to the taste and they feel soapy to the touch. These are alkalis, right? So we are saying they are what? Alkalis are bitter to taste and feel soapy. These are bases now to the what? To the touch, right? We have been describing acids. We are now describing what? Bases, right? And we are saying the alkalis, these alkalis that we are talking about, these alkalis that you see, they can react with oils. Alkalis react with oils on the skin to form soap. So that soap that you use to bath or use to wash with, right, it has got properties of bases, right? So that's another thing that has to come into your imagination, right? And we are saying alkalis, they can cause specific odor changes in indicators and plant dyes, right? They can change the litmus again from red now to blue, you see, right? So we are saying alkalis, right? You have to know that a base that is soluble in water, we call it an alkali. You can say why we are just saying properties of bases and I'm just saying alkalis. And a base that is soluble in water, right, is an alkali. So we are saying alkalis, these bases that are soluble. I'm sure you know when we are saying something that is soluble, it can mix with water, right? It can penetrate into water, right? So we are saying these alkalis, they can cause they can cause specific color changes. They can cause specific color changes, right, in indicators, right, in indicators and plant dyes, For example, they change the color of the litmus from red to blue. So again, you have to know that with acids, they've got specific color changes, or they can cause auto changes, right, from blue to red. But alkalis, they change the color from what? From red to blue. And alkali solutions, they also conduct electricity. So we are saying alkali, these bases, solutions, that's another point or another property of alkalis. They conduct electricity, right? And then bases can neutralize acids. So bases can neutralize acids. And then we are saying an acid is a substance that produces hydroxide ions. A substance that produces hydroxide ions in an aqueous solution, right, is a what? Is also a base. So we are saying a substance that produces hydrogen ions. Now with acids we're saying OH plus, with bases is OH minus. A substance that produces hydroxide ions, hydroxide ions. Remember, hydroxide ions in an aqueous solution, right? Remember, we said a substance that produces at least hydrogen that can ionize to form a hydrogen ion, that is an acid. But when we are saying a substance that produces hydroxide ions in an aqueous, is a base. So again, we can also distinguish between organic and inorganic acids. So there are acids that are present in animals and plant materials. We call those acids organic acids, right? So we are saying organic acids. These are acids that are present in animal and plant materials, right? Present in animal and plant materials, right? These are organic acids, and these are weak acids, and the solutions are usually diluted. So we are saying organic acids, these are acids, right? And we've got different types of acids. You see the venom of the bee, right? And you see the venom of the bee, I'm sure you know those bees that make honey, right? And we can say anti-strings, they contain what we call formic acid, formic. You have to know the different types of acids, right? And then citric acid, citric acid is found in fruits such as oranges and lemons. That's where you get what? Citric acid, right? And then we are saying formic acid. Formic acid, you get it from what? The venom of bees. That's where you get that type of what? Acid, formic acid, right? So we are talking about these properties of bases and acids. So these are the first things that you have to understand when we are talking about this topic of acids and bases. And we are saying in our everyday life we encounter these many substances, many we classify them, they are either acids or bases. The pills, most of the things, right?